Now, given that Bob Iger and the Disney board of directors are doubling down on their use of DEI and their woke agendas with all the upcoming live-action material, whether it be Hercules or Lilo and Stitch, Sword in the Stone, as well as themselves rebooting Pirates of the Caribbean, that's just the beginning. That's really just them kind of scratching the surface on what is about to become reality throughout the next couple of years of the 2020s. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, it's no secret that Kathleen Kennedy has a very thin skin. She really gets easily offended. She can't take criticism very well. This is coming from the very person that got pretty much, very angered over the fact when one correspondent was challenging her about why Kevin Feige's movie was scrapped and axed, and how she literally got very defensive and said, oh, there's no such thing as shelving movies. We don't shelve movies here at Lucasfilm. And that is actually exactly what happens, but she tried to alter the truth. But looking at what Trey Parker and Matt Stone did in South Park, I thought was brilliant. Other people out there may have differing opinions. I know a lot of people out there feel that South Park went way too easy on Kathleen Kennedy, and that may very well be the case in some areas, but I still think that at the end of the day, they delivered the proper message that she is destroying multiple franchises, and already has done so. Now, looking beyond all of this, this is where things begin to really unravel behind closed doors, and what is going on between Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, Lucasfilm, South Park Studios, and Paramount. So let's discuss. Now, with both Trey Parker and Matt Stone doubling down on their plans to mock Disney, Kathleen Kennedy, and Bob Iger, one major development has to do with Kennedy's reaction to South Park mocking Disney, Lucasfilm, and the current state of Hollywood. As it turns out, in a shocking turn of events behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm, Kennedy and a different series of conversations actually unfolded between herself, the Lucasfilm leadership members, of course, such as the vice president and the senior vice presidents, recently held a meeting with Paramount Plus and South Park Studios about the usage of mocking Disney and herself as a producer and president of the company. Now, one crucial update to this ongoing drama is that Kennedy is pointing the finger and blaming South Park Studios and Paramount for a now recent 5% loss of subscribers on Disney Plus that was recently obtained by Disney analysts that went over the data that worked in conjunction with the release week of South Park Panderverse. As of now, both Kennedy and the Disney heads, including Bob Iger and the CEO, are putting full blame on South Park for being the ultimate reason as to why Disney Plus subscribers are bailing the streaming platform just as of late. In addition to this, there was a recent massive dip in viewership levels of Star Wars sequel trilogy movies and even the Ahsoka Tano series spin-off. And of course, other movies like Rogue One and Solo on Disney Plus that was recently reviewed by Disney analysts that were delivered to Lucasfilm that was presented to South Park Studios and Paramount by Kathleen Kennedy and the Lucasfilm leadership team in a recent remote meeting that took place. Now again, guys, let me just stop here quick. The fact that they're still pulling the blame game and pointing fingers at Trey Parker, Matt Stone, and those responsible for creating the Panderverse is absolutely ludicrous, and it goes to show you how desperate Disney really is during these days of 2023, and how desperate Kathleen Kennedy really is to save whatever is left of her image. Look, nobody's looking forward to Skeleton Crew, which is 100% a Kathleen Kennedy-driven product. For those of you that are still latching on to Skeleton Crew, just be warned that that series in particular, it is all Kathleen Kennedy. It is 100% Kathleen Kennedy, so is The Acolyte. She is the one that hired Leslie Headland to become the showrunner, someone that we all know who used to be the personal assistant of. Now, what's interesting about this is the fact that what Kathleen Kennedy is doing right now is that she is pushing for more meetings to take place throughout the remainder of this year leading into 2024 to find some kind of a resolution for Paramount and South Park Studios to put an end to mocking Disney and herself as a producer and the pretty much a leader of Lucasfilm, essentially. If you even want to call her a leader at this point, I think that she's a, destructive force of the company, so to speak, and she needs to be fired. And we already know that there's a lot of things going on between the board of directors right now with their usage of DEI. They have no plans to stop. They don't care what South Park is doing. They just want to keep on delivering their agenda without the general public questioning their motive. Now, what's interesting about that further, on top of that, another meeting is already being set up by Kathleen Kennedy now to continue their conversations with South Park Studios and Paramount in a desperate attempt to find the correct legal path to take action against those like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who were responsible for creating the parody of Kathleen Kennedy and Disney entirely, along with Lucasfilm's failures. To top things off, Kathleen Kennedy already is turning to the Disney heads to continue these remote meetings at least until the new year. Those at South Park and Paramount are reportedly getting into heated conversations with Disney about them creating interference with their production and focus. Kennedy is also blaming the usage of South Park in their brief remote meeting that their parody of Bob Iger is what caused a recent dip in the Disney stock as well. The blame game continues on Kathleen Kennedy's end, as she is the one creating and continuing these remote meetings between herself, the Lucasfilm leadership team, and the heads of Paramount and those at South Park Studios that are likely to go absolutely nowhere, but wasting other people's time to create more material. Now guys, we already talked about how Trey and Matt are going to make the follow-up to the Panderverse meta, and what I mean by that is it's also going to kind of break the fourth wall. They're going to insert themselves into the actual storyline. They're going to address all the drama that's been going on behind the scenes. And this is nothing new. Trey Parker and Matt Stone have done something similar like that before in the past, where they kind of broke the fourth wall here and there. We saw what they did with The Simpsons, with Family Guy, etc., etc. But this is on a whole new level. This is really going beyond what Kathleen Kennedy and Disney ever expected to see. I don't think that they actually have a full grasp on reality of what's really happening right now, because they never expected Kathleen Kennedy to be mentioned by name, by freaking name, in South Park. They never saw that coming. Disney never saw that coming, and that's exactly why they're reacting in such a defensive way. They probably thought that they never would have seen this day come, and it is here. And it's going to keep on happening. Trey and Matt have no plans to stop. Kathleen Kennedy can blame and point the finger as much as she wants, but it's not going to resolve anything. In fact, you're only adding fuel to the fire and giving Parker and Stone more material to work with. If anything, if you are to start any kind of a conversation, and a heated one at that, that is something that you do not want to do with Trey and Matt, because they're going to use that as comedic material down the road. So anyway guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.